Hello. I think we're live. We'll just wait for a few people to come in. Let me know if you can hear me and if the music's a good volume. Oh, we got a little bit of an autosave there. That was a little bit scary. Got a lot of traffic on this bridge, which I'm gonna do absolutely nothing about because I love it. Hey Spino, welcome to the stream. Just started seeing who's gonna turn up, who's gonna surprise us today. Just down by the main station, watching all the activity. I could spend a lot of time down here, watching all the traffic, people getting caught up in queues. But it's nice that the tram has a way through without getting caught up in any traffic. Let me know if the music volume's okay. Might be a little bit too quiet, but I'd rather it be quiet than too loud. Hey Biffa, how's it going? Yeah, we got a little bit of traffic on the bridge, but it doesn't back up too far, and well, it backs up a little bit down here, but it's manageable. These trucks are really bright, really nice color orange actually. They remind me of Picana trucks, if he had any branding in the city. Where are they going? Oh, so these are a modded vehicle. This is by Maestro, so it's from the extended cargo transport pack. It looks really nice, that. How's the game volume, everyone? Let me know if it's a little bit too loud. I can turn it down. Hey Biffa, glad to hear that you're doing well. It's pretty hot here. I don't know why I decided to stream on the hottest day of August. I'm gonna be absolutely roasting. Hey Maestro, this is one of your vehicles. Hey Adam. Adam says, I'm from Scunthorpe. By any chance are you from the same town? Yes, I'm from Scunthorpe. I was born in Scunthorpe. Not living there at the moment, but I regularly visit sunny Scunny. Don't worry, it's going to be hotter tomorrow. Well, I won't be streaming tomorrow. That's positive news. And if anything, I'm in my office basement where it's a little bit cooler. Got this building here, this poor little building. Probably one of the oldest buildings in the game. Has slowly just been completely surrounded with development, and what was a quiet country road going around the edge of the city is now like a super busy, congested intersection. I would love it if they actually gave you the date or the time in which this was built. It would be quite interesting to compare it to some of the other assets in the area. Hey Riz, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream. Hey Spino, yeah, it's super hot absolutely everywhere. Are you going to be watching the eclipse tonight? Have you got clear skies? Are you in Europe? I mean, that's the first question. If you're not in Europe, you won't be getting the eclipse. Vegas, did you come to the World Cup in the USA? No, I've not. I didn't go to the World Cup, but I did watch it. It was a thrilling experience. Watching the England team go as far as they did, and it was quite surprising as well, since we had a whole new coach and team, and I think they did a pretty good job. They kind of surprised everyone. Hey Riz, are you going to be wearing some of those special sunglasses to watch the solar eclipse? I didn't get any, so I'm going to be using maybe a colander Were you around back in 1999 when the solar eclipse came? I think it was a total solar eclipse. I remember that as a kid. It was a lot of fun. But I do remember I did look at it directly with my eyes, and I got told off pretty strongly by my parents. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'm sure you might have seen something in Brazil instead. I mean, Brazil's got incredible things to see, so it's definitely on my bucket list to head down there at some point. Buenos Aires as well. Absolutely stunning city. Hey Tom, love the videos. I want to ask you about the border checkpoint. All the vehicles line up in the same lane. Is it the same as yours? Yeah, I think it might. I think I might have that issue. Let's have a look. They do spread out every now and then. But let's have a look. Yeah, so look, we've got pretty good spreadage of the vehicles. Actually, this is really good spreadage. Look at that. I've never seen it spread out as much as that. I wonder though, are you using the same type of roads through here? I mean, this was built in very early CS2 days, mostly vanilla. So these are just simple highway roads with a few props placed on top with stop signals at these intersections here, which is causing all the traffic. But again, I love seeing traffic. It makes the city feel a little bit more alive. We've got a lot of traffic. Where is all this traffic leading to? Okay, so we've got this intersection here, and they're getting stuck on Lafayette Street. They're coming down here. They're all heading to the port. Yeah, so this is a proper mess. And this is just using the vanilla port. I really do need to come through here and rebuild it using the Bridges and Ports DLC at some point, and we might actually be able to manage the traffic somehow. I do like the colors of these containers though. I feel like that was a happy accident. I can't remember how that happened, but we came through and recolored these, because these vanilla ones, they just look a little bit sad, a little bit dark. But yeah, a lot of traffic. I don't know what we can do to fix that. We have a closer look at this and have a look at some of the routes through here. I mean, to be honest, it's just so many problems. I don't know where to start. Toshi Shama, where do you usually stream? Just on YouTube typically. I do sometimes stream on Twitch if I get the setup correctly. I've talked to City Planner Plays about how to do that. He gave me some good tips. I think today though we're just on YouTube. Will you keep the old port? I think for the most part I do want to keep this port as it is. I don't want to go over old builds completely. I prefer to just upgrade things slowly and make fixes to existing infrastructure rather than starting something new. But this is ridiculous. This is really bad through here. And I'm not really sure what we can do. So there's one entrance here and everybody is heading in there. So it's not even like we can add an extra lane in and get people to come through. The only thing I think we could do is add a road with a median, and then that will force people to maybe take a longer route around. And I think we do have a road here with a median. And the good thing about a roads with medians is that traffic should not technically drive over it. So let's turn on our snap-in and let's see if this works. I think I'm going to do it for the full length here. Yeah, okay. That's going to screw some things up for sure. I might just pick up the timer a little bit and see where everyone's going. They're making a big loop around this warehouse here, but that might alleviate things just a little bit, especially if we've got vehicles coming out here. They won't cross into that traffic. But yeah, this is a complete mess. So we've got one of these custom train yards by Tygon. This is just a general medium train freight station. At the time, I wanted it to be connected to the port. So the port has a rail connection. It has a rail upgrade, but it was in a really awkward spot. I wanted it to be a through station, but it only provided a terminus with the vanilla version of the asset. I know that Tygon has added a placeable extra upgrade where you can place that anywhere you like and it can receive train goods, but at the time that wasn't available. So I placed down this medium freight station here, and then it has these little access roads at the back which I managed to line up, and you can see here there's no proper roads. These are invisible roads. I think we have a look at markers. Yeah, we've got these invisible roads that they're using to get around, and this seems to be working. We've seemed to given the traffic a little bit of a break, especially in this area. Still got a lot of issues down here. I'm tempted to get rid of this roundabout, turn that into traffic lights instead. We've got a dedicated right turn there, and then we've also got some dedicated turns here as well. I don't think we're going to get many vehicles. Oh, I say that. I didn't think we were going to get many vehicles turning down here, but we might want to use an asymmetric road there as well. So let's just copy that and add that one in here. And I do want to add another section further along here, but it's a little bit too long. So we can use network tools and add in a node. Lovely, lovely. Let's grab that road upgrade again. And then that gives people a little bit more of a runway to get through, change lanes. And that seems to be resolving there. And it looks like that is solving a lot of our issues through here. I can just turn the timer back down so I don't kill my CPU, setting the speed up too high. And then if we head down to the border crossing, it looks like congestion is easing up, especially those that were wanting to turn off onto Cherry Highway. We still have a lot of congestion through here. It does need a little bit of an upgrade. This was built, I think, when the city was around about 30,000 people, and this just isn't keeping up with demand. And since I use the no vehicle despawn mod, with vehicle despawning turned on, I just have it tweaked so that it's a much rarer event, so it's less likely to despawn a vehicle, but we do get these enormous traffic queues, which I think, I don't know, like I said, to me it adds a lot of atmosphere. I've been to border crossings on the English coast. I've been to toll booths, especially if you're going across the Dartford crossing near London. You get queues like this, you'll get stuck in them for 30 minutes. It's, if anything, this is more realistic than anything. Oh, overcharged egg has turned up. Thank you very much for joining. And Tygon, how's it going? We've just been talking about your freight yard here and how I've just basically, this is destroying my traffic in the city, but it seems to be working now. We've got a little bit of congestion. They're just really, really slow going through here. For some reason, they want to do some weird turning, I think, in here, if we can have a look. No, and that is super loud. I'm so sorry. Let's get out of here really, really quickly. At least the traffic's not backing up onto this side road here anymore. Hey Const, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. I'm just trying to catch up with chat. Tygon, if you want to create a new upgrade, which is a replica of this freight station, that would be fantastic. If anything, and I will admit this, I'm a little bit lazy when it comes to detailing and propping assets and buildings. I love detailing neighborhoods and districts and areas. But when it comes to creating custom assets itself, it takes a long time, and I love to see the city grow quickly. I don't mind building parks. I don't mind kind of building public spaces. I mean, this train yard here is fantastic. I love all the little details that you've added, and it's just based on some existing vanilla assets, and we were able to use some of these vanilla props that were unlocked at some point in the game. But yes, if you want to add it on, and at the same time, also 100% not necessary, because this is technically working. You get vehicles dropping off goods at the freight yard, then another vehicle then takes it over to the port. And if there's anything, people are always complaining that their city looks a little bit dead. Our port looks super alive. I just need to be better at building roads. Overcharged X, thank you very much for the compliment on the port. This is a very old build, so very vanilla-y, but it works. I'm happy with it. I've got another port down here. This is the miniature ports that you can build if you've got the Bridges and Ports DLC. These little fellas, the reach stackers, they like to escape sometimes and drive across the map. Did anybody see the Reddit post where somebody followed one of these little trucks? I think they followed it for several hours and they ended up live streaming it on Twitch, and they were going for hours and hours and hours, and it went halfway across the map, then it came back again, and then to the other side. It was quite hilarious. But yeah, lots of traffic around here. We've got a little bit of an oil section down here. These were based off the oil storage units you often see along the British coast or along the rivers. They typically have a lot of scruffy grass and land in between them. They're not all concrete, which is quite nice. And we actually could even make this a little bit more detailed using some of the terrain brush tools. I've not really played around with these too much. We've got some of these brushes as well. Oh, that's quite interesting. I wonder if we just stamp it, if we just hold it down like that. Yeah, that's quite fun and interesting. Oh, how do you rotate this? Shift and scroll. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it adds a little bit of detail, doesn't it? Yeah, the reach stackers just want to... I agree with you, Bifford. They just want to be free and do what they want to do. Hey, Med Cheeks, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. I mean, you've been in the chat for a while. I'm not a very good streamer, I'll be honest. So if I miss a comment, you can always just post it again, and I'm sure someone else can point it out if I'm making some big error. Adam, I can see your post from earlier. Do I recommend any channels that walk through the most popular mods and how to use them? If I remember correctly, City Planner Plays created one back in January of the top 50 mods that he uses and why he uses them. That's a pretty good place to start. And then there's some other channels that have tried, have showcased individual mods. It's always worth just finding a mod that you're interested in and having a look on YouTube to see if it's being covered by a content creator. These are so cute. These are the Australian terraced homes by Trist. And I don't think I've recolored these. These are some of the vanilla colors that Trist picked. And you can just imagine sitting on one of these balconies and just looking out at the oil platform. And you got a business here with the biggest aircon units I've ever seen. Is that some sort of error? I don't think that's right. I'm going to use Better Bulldozer and remove them because they're way too big. But what do they sell? Vehicles. Okay, so not the best location if you want to buy a vehicle, because I imagine you'd have to drive out here and pick up the car or maybe get a lift from someone. But this was a fun little experiment out here, trying out some of these cliffside assets by Joe. And this was before we had the new terrain textures. And this was a nice little experiment. I wouldn't want to replicate this all over the island. It was a lot of work to kind of make this look natural. But I'm glad that we got to try things out. And that's kind of like my aim with this series, is to try things out in different places. It doesn't necessarily always make sense, especially if we've got architecture that's clashing and something's a little bit different. Got a big accident down here. Wow. Lots and lots of problems. I mean, it's no surprise it's outside the roadhouse. I think people have had maybe not been keeping an eye out on what they've been drinking and then jumping in the car. And it could actually be my fault. I think we had a path connected up here so people could walk through. But has it been disconnected? No, it's still connected. That's good. Down there. We should have maybe turned this into a cycle path, but I like that it's quite rustic and not very well planned. Hey Wardolph, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. And Michael, welcome. Alright, well, I did have a plan today. I wanted to have a look at the Civic Quarter and try not to look in the distance over there. I'm halfway through building an airport. And if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I've been putting the airport build off just a little bit. But it's time. It's time to build the airport, and it is coming together nicely. I like the fact that StarQ has created... I can give you a little sneak peek here. He's created a version of the runway from the airport block mod. Which one is it? This one here, the air transport block. So he's included runways with line work already attached to them. So that saves a lot of time. And I was having a look at some British airports and comparing them to American airports where they have extra space on the sides with loads of extra paintwork. I was having a look at British airports and they're really not that sophisticated at all. They're almost identical to this, very plain asphalt right to the edge, and then just this basic white line along the edge, or even in a lot of cases not even this line work, it's just the central line and then everything around it. So it might be a little bit easier if I stick to European or English airport standards rather than go all out like Sully did. Sully made LAX the airport in Los Angeles, and my God, he must have spent so long researching that project. He did such an incredible job. Yeah, just a little bit, Mercheeks. Anyway, yeah, I want to have a look at the Civic Quarter. We've got a lot of old stuff down here that isn't really suitable for Sunny Isle. Just, you know, experiencing the hot weather over the past few weeks, it's just been a reminder that these open grassy areas are going to struggle big time with just constant exposure to the sun and the heat. And I've had a few comments from people saying that in a climate like this, whether it's Caribbean or whether it's Southeast Asia, like I said, Sunny Isle doesn't really live anywhere, that places like this would just not be a very desirable place to go. So I'm thinking we could have a look at this park today, make it a little bit bushier, a little bit shadier, maybe get rid of this big fat road in the middle here and turn it into a more unique pedestrian walkway, and then add some unique assets in here. I've got a few assets from Riz. He's been creating some beautiful ponds and parks somewhere. Oh, I do like this anchor. I'd like to put that down on in a port build somewhere soon. But yeah, these are the fountains. So a couple of big ones and a couple of little ones. But we could maybe create a fountain park here with a few of these in so that people can walk around and try them out. Maybe go on what's the word? An exhibition of fountains. A treasure hunt. Maestro is asking if we'd have plans to replace the old Colossal Order trams. Yes, I do want to replace them eventually. Like I said in, I think, the last episode, I want to do a big tram overhaul. Our tram network doesn't really make a lot of sense at the moment. Where's our transport view? Let's toggle everything off. And some of you might have some suggestions here, but this is our current tram network. So we've got the red line that starts in Mont Clementine. It goes all the way up to the valley. It might be worth stretching this out up to the athletic wear factory at the top here. And then that opens up this area for development. And that's almost halfway to the medical university town in the distance. But that does have a rail connection which cuts through Riverhill and then into the main station. Then we got the green line. This just runs from Mont Clementine to Harbour and Market, just over the bridge here, in one of the first modded sections of the city. And then we've got this green line, which is kind of short, starts at the harbour arm, comes up here, and then kind of ends after the little roundabout interchange that we've got there. And my desire for that one is to bring that all the way up into Riverhill. And again, that opens up this area for a lot of development. And then I think the one that really needs a real think through is this blue one that just cuts along the coast here and then goes into the warehouse district. And I don't really think many people use that line. Yeah, it's got like 2% usage. It's not very much. And also usage overall in public transport has been really dire, really bad since the last patch. And I think it's because they fixed one of the shopping bugs. So people would travel halfway across the map to buy something when they could actually go to a closer store and buy it. And the result of that is we just get a lot less people using public transport. So my idea, I think I'll probably retain the red line. We've got an extra, oh yeah, we've got the new mini tram as well that goes through the stadium district. So yeah, there's a lot to fix here. But yeah, I think the red one will stay, and then the rest of them I think might be dissected up into longer lines that maybe don't go along this coast here. I'd maybe do a heritage line along the coast using some of Maestro's historical trams, but that wouldn't necessarily be used for public transport. That's more for tourism. And then bring a tram line around the top of the city that could go down to the airport and provide connections for places in between. We've got the metro going to the airport, so if you want quick access from the center of the city, you've got good access, but it's anywhere in between. I think we could provide a few more options. Yeah, I think the blue one might move over a block or two. Might retain the warehouse section and then bring that straight down to the station here and build like a super... I'm thinking of removing this park and building like a really large tram interchange here with lots of different tram stops. It might be sad to see that park go because that's one of the oldest parks as well with the train station. Oh, I've been playing for so long. All these years. I'm glad that Sunny Isle is still working. Okay, so I want to have a look at what green space we can open up here. I think this road here, Broad Street, is no longer necessary. I'm going to remove the end of it here, and that reduces one of the intersections on this big road here, and I'm going to turn the end of that into a cul-de-sac, I think. Now it's not letting me delete this path, and I led to believe that it's a surface, and it's probably an invisible path as well. Yes, so we'll get rid of that. And I'm completely ignoring chat again. Sorry about that. Yes, we've got Meister in the chat, so he can advise us on the best trams to use once we get round to updating it. Atari, welcome from Russia. Thank you very much. It looks like we've got a fence around the park we can go ahead and remove. I mean, the detail of this fence is so light you can barely see it. It's only when you get super close. There we go. And let's go and add that little cul-de-sac. Oh, have you seen these little UK mini roundabouts? These are cute. These are really cute. And there's some bigger ones as well. They're really nice. Biffa, you need to get these if you've not got them already. Let's go for something. Let's go for the cul-de-sac. Something a bit bushier. Yeah, that's quite good. Now, we've got vehicles parking. It looks like our Better Bulldozer is reset on the university. So I'm going to move this underground parking facility momentarily. And let's remove these car parks. I don't want to remove them from that side, so I think that's the issue. If you use this single item one, it even gives you a warning that it could regenerate whenever possible. So we do need to remove all the parking from this asset, which I think is fine. We want to be reducing car parking in the center of the city anyway. Let's remove these large street lamps. And there's a couple over here as well. And that has cleared out that space as well. Now, do we have any invisible paths and roads? No, we've got these weird little node things, which I'm going to ignore and pretend that they won't break my city at some point. Pray to the CS gods. Sunny Isle lives. And then I'm going to move this out just a little bit. I'm using the alpha version of Move It, so it might look a little bit different to what you're used to seeing. Yeah, that looks quite good. And since this is a pedestrian facility, let's upgrade this road. Not pedestrian, a cycle facility. Let's upgrade it to have some cycle paths through here. And I might even remove this taxi stop so that we can get those cycle paths through here. Very nice. Atari, we're building a new park in the Civic Quarter today. So that's the plan. And Triton's arrived, and has suggested that the whole Ice Flake fan club is here. If you're interested in joining a Discord, have a look for Mayor Cheek's Discord on Twitch. He'll have a link on Twitch, and there's some very odd shenanigans happening on that Discord. Hey Hugo, thanks for joining the stream. You ask if I work in art or design as my main job. Yes, I'm a graphic designer. So I typically work in marketing departments, creating branded marketing assets. So not super fun, but it pays the bills. And sometimes we do get really fun creative projects. All right, let's connect this up with a divided cycle path. And oh yes, I forgot you can actually connect straight to roundabouts, and it doesn't look too wild. Just go make sure we keep our distance, I believe. Oh, that looks like a good spot. Then we'll bring that around here. And I'm thinking of changing this just to a cycle road, because I'm thinking pedestrians can use this little bit of a path up here that runs alongside this cycle facility. And then we'll run this along here, and then we can connect. I don't want to connect into the intersection because I've done that in the past with cycle paths and it causes all sorts of issues. And then we'll just bring that down here and link that up if it plays nicely. Maybe if we add... Can you add a node onto these paths? I don't think you can you? I can delete that bit though. And we've got some invisible paths that's causing some issues. Let's get rid of those. I just want to make a nice curve out of here and then onto that road. Bit of a sharp turn, but I think it works. This is probably connected to that road now, so I don't want to touch it and break something. Go with that tree. Got another tree here, and then we should restore that pedestrian access through here. If it's going to play nicely. Yeah, I like that. Tygon, if you want me to make you an icon, let me know, but maybe get just let me know. I'll make you an icon. I've been making some PDX mod icons recently and nobody seems to like them yet. I do seem to add a lot of glitter and special effects to them though. I mean, if you can't have fun with a little bit of graphic design, when can you not, eh? Let's remove these trees. And let's add a little bit of foliage between this section here. Tree Controller, I'd say, is my #1 favorite mod. Simply because we can have these custom sets, and I really like making these little hedgerows using lots of different types of trees, and it just makes things look a lot prettier, a lot, very quickly. So without Anarchy turned on, we might be able to get a few trees in here. Not too many, that's a shame. Let's go for some of the smaller bushes then. And why don't I want to use Anarchy? Well, knowing me, I'll probably come back to this area in the future and I'll delete something or place something down. I won't be able to remove any of the trees because they're all Anarchy'd in. So this is my solution instead. Sometimes these big bushes really throw off the spacing, so let's do that instead. Bring that down to 0.7. And this is a little bit easier than doing... it's a little bit easier than doing fences as well, because you can actually see them. Whereas you've got a fence right here, you can barely see it. Once you go anarchy, you can't go back. Yeah, that's true. Once you started building with anarchy, it just start to grow and grow and grow. Now I made a mistake here. I need to remove some of these bushes. See, this is where vanilla doesn't quite work out because you've got all these hidden trees and bushes in here now. It's like playing whack-a-mole. But I want to connect this up with a pedestrian path. Let's come into our pavement surfaces and just paint a little path here. It's really like playing whack-a-mole with these trees, isn't it? I've really shot myself in the foot. Should have just used anarchy. All right. So we did have a road connection here, so I want to make it look like it's just been closed to vehicles and now it's a pedestrian access area. And it tells a little bit of history in the area, which is nice. We do need to use anarchy here. And I think that works out. I would love to see you add some kind of hint to the civic quarter in the past industrial use, especially use to the Great Fire. Well, this is a memorial park, so that kind of reflects the fact that we had a big fire and it's now being replaced with a nice green and social space for people to enjoy and reflect on the sad things that happened. I think, what was that, like episode 5? Okay, I think that's quite nice little section there. The only thing I think could enhance it is add in a couple of planters. I don't have too many planters, so maybe just stick to something vanilla. And let's make sure we don't cover up those little sections that we've placed down with the invisible paths. There you go. It's a little bit messy, but I've seen this in my own town where these little planters get moved around all the time. It's a little bit of a political issue where people are trying to park in places that they're not allowed to park. Oh, it looks like we've got a little bit of the underworld popping up here. I know how to fix that. Let's go into surfaces, go into miscellaneous, go to the clip surface, and then we'll just cover this up. And then we need to get some of El Gendo's asphalt. And it needs to be a decal, I believe. Yes, perfect. Let's use the XL. Let's use the curve tool. Yeah, that looks good to me. So we just click once and then we click again, and I'm going to hold down Control, and then we can just move that to where we want. And I think that looks good. Place that. Oh, we missed a bit. Oh dear. I was trying to be clever there, but there we go. We've patched up the road. And in these little in-between sections, I've actually been using these bollards to prevent vehicles from driving down those little sections. So let's see how close that is. Oh, we got too many there. Let's change that to 1.7 meters. There we go. And we can even add a couple of extra ones here as well. Hello, Alexis. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Have you tried the shoreline foam mod that makes animated waves? I've seen it. I think it looks pretty good. I'm a little bit cautious adding mods like that if they've not gone through a couple of patches and updates. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on it. And if it survives the next update or two, it might be added to my mod list. I'll have to wait and see. Have you tried it? Is it any good? Have you enjoyed using it? Oh, these don't play very nicely with the custom builder roads, do they? Alright, we'll leave it as it is. I need to go get a couple of those pergolas. I'm going to recolor them as well. So they match everything else. Very nice. Okay, yeah, so I'm not doing a very good job at updating this pack just yet. We are going to slim this down. I'm going to use the pedestrian street for this. I think I'll keep the actual network through here. And this is half inspired by the mall in London with the palace at one end, Buckingham Palace. So they have this mall. And in fact, if we want to replicate the mall, what we should do is we should use a vehicle road because they do allow vehicles to go through. But they restrict it to public transport. So if we use our double public transport lane and upgrade it, that means emergency vehicles can come through. And I quite like the look of that. And because people will be walking or maybe standing here during celebrations, we don't want to add a grass edge, but I will add some bike lanes. And since we've added bike lanes up here, I'm going to add them to this road. And in fact, I'm going to bring that all the way through here, and that connects up all the way down to South Bay. So that's a pretty good cycle corridor through here. That takes you to the civic quarter, and then you can cut through the park and get into Mont Clementine. Alright, so we got a lot of mess here. Let's have a look. So all these props and bits and bobs. I think I'm going to just delete everything. I've got to be super careful though. So let's reduce our brush size. Let's turn off snapping. And this is going to get rid of trees, decals, benches, absolutely everything. Let's change the brush strength to 100. And let's just come through here. And we'll start with a little bit of a clean slate. I like to have, you know, some of the old stuff in here to reflect the history. But having all those bushes and trees and lamps, that's just going to cause me issues. But I like the look of that. Hey Joel, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much. 64 square official airport plans. Yes, airport is underway. There you go. You can see it in the distance just a little bit. It's half built. Still working on it. But I've decided to stream today. I was invited by Paradox to join them on a day of streaming. So they're currently streaming, and they're going to send over their viewers and join our stream. And then I've been talking to another streamer, and hopefully if I understand how YouTube stream forwarding works, I might be able to send you to another really cool stream. Yeah, no Cine on that stream, but we got you know, we got Zoe and what was her name? I know her name. I'm gonna get in so much trouble because this is going out in the public. Mandy, no, I want to say Mandy or Miranda. Maddie, there you go. I've met her in person. Maddie is gonna come down hard on me. Rip my Discord DMs. There we go. Yes, I know it was Maddie all along. It's just I'm getting stream brain. You know me, I don't stream very often. And if I'm recording a YouTube video, I can take a break whenever I want. But this is the first time that, or this is the time when I actually have to continuously think about what I'm doing and also read all the comments. So I do appreciate you all being patient with me and helping me through this. Hey Matthew, I can see your post about new transport lines or tram lines to the airport. Let me take a picture with my phone and then I will remember to have a look at that and see if I can adapt that into the new tram plan. Cine was in the chat. Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, I'm a terrible streamer, but I do appreciate the opportunity to be able to allow people to join. You know, I do appreciate the opportunity to share the city and support the genre, support the game. So I do appreciate PDX to, you know, contribute to content creators and bring viewers in and help us out. So yes, if you're new here, because I have no idea who's in the chat, who's come from the other stream. Is the other stream over yet? Let me have a quick look. Okay, their stream is still on. So once their stream finishes, we might get a few new people coming in. So you'll have to let me know. This is just a special stream for now. I'm not sure how often I'll be able to stream. But, you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm making a big mistake streaming on the hottest day in August. But it is what it is. Look at all these evil people coming in here. This is for emergency vehicles only. I do find, though, that one way to help reduce poor driving skills is to turn off left and right turns at the end of this intersection. But we've got a traffic intersection here. So what we can do, go into lane connected tools. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. And sorry for completely blowing up your mic. But yes, let's turn off the lefties here. Let's turn off the U's and the right turns. I think that's all of them. I think we need to turn off the cycle lanes as well, because sometimes you'll get vehicles driving on the cycle lanes. I can't remember. But we do need to connect this road up. Oh, if you hold down, is it control? It turns it into a dotted line. Or is it shift? It's shift. That means vehicles will only take this journey if it's an emergency. There we go. We don't get any. We should not get anyone waiting here unless they're a public service vehicle, a taxi, or a bus. Is it cloudy in Scotland, Tygon? I did see there was a little bit of weather up there. You've had rain? We've not had any rain. Alexis, it's been coldest August day recorded in a while in Australia. Wow. Yeah, I always forget that it's a completely different season on the other side of the world. what I would do for a little bit of cold weather and some rain. My garden is just dry grass and dry bushes. Alright, I want to decorate this with a net lane. Oh, before I do that, I want to add a decorative roundabout in the middle. Can you add roundabouts to these pedestrian crossings? You can do, but it might break something. I want to use the medium one. Okay, yeah. I need to add a node. Doesn't like that. That's okay. We can figure this out. Use a small pedestrian street instead. Or maybe we could, yeah, we could bring this road out, but use the small pedestrian street. And then that allows us to place down a roundabout. Very nice. Might need to be a bigger one because I want to use a roundabout park, which I think, did you create this, Riz? There's a fountain roundabout park somewhere. Oh, I think I starred it actually. Because I knew I couldn't find it. And I've got all my airport stuff saved as well. No, I didn't. I didn't save it. I mean, we've got these beautiful roundabout decals. I'm trying to think, was it fountain? Horseman fountain, there we go. This is the one I wanted. So let's line this up nicely. Ooh, I didn't see there was a decal in the fountain itself. Now, no, it wasn't by Riz. This is by Vladalex. Lovely little asset, this. Do need to lower it down just a little bit. So we go into transform tools. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's really nice there. Maestro, I do have the stats viewer. Do you want me to have a look at this one? It's got quite a lot of triangles. But Booty Mare Cheek says it's good. So Keanu, I know that you think we should turn this into a pedestrian path again, and I semi-agree with you. I do want to make this a pedestrian focused area, but I'd like to imagine this is used for military parades, state events, so we'll have stately vehicles coming down here. But what we can do is we can make it a little bit more decorative. So using Network's parallel tool, let's grab the end of the road and the beginning of the road. Let's change this to 0 so it's in the middle. Can you not change to 0? Oh, you can do. It's just very fiddly. And then we can have a look at some net lanes and find something decorative. Crypto Gamers. Has Crypto Gamers net lanes got a shortcut name? Just pedestrian paths. Okay, let's have a look. That's a very small one. $10 is that wide enough? I think it is. Close enough, isn't it? Why am I not using the EDT extra detailing tools beta? The transforming is so much better than the public version. Yeah, I've just not got around to trying it out. You have to let me know. Is it really different to the existing one? I've not really been following. Now, I'm not sure about this color though. But at least we're looking for 10 meters. Are there any larger than 10 meters? Hey Cities Skylines crew, welcome to the stream. It's happening, everyone. It's happening. Hello everyone. Thank you so much, Maddie, Zoe, for putting on such a great show. How was your little city for ants? I would like to know how you got on with it in the end on the Windy Fjords map, which I have to say is my favorite vanilla map on, that came out with Cities Skylines. That was the first map that I used, and I built a pretty big city all in vanilla. I spent about 300 hours, and that was where I started making YouTube videos, showing off some of my new builds on there. Hey Dava, welcome to the stream. Hey Bad Peanut, welcome. Okay, well, I'm sure that they gave a very brief introduction to who I am, but if you're not sure who I am, I'm Sunny Scunny, and I mostly play heavily modded Cities Skylines. Unintentionally, I started off with a fairly slim mod list building Sunny Isle on the Samui Island map, but over time and through temptation and desire, I've been adding more and more mods and assets to my list. And over time, we've built Sunny Isle, which doesn't necessarily exist anywhere in the world. Supposedly it's in the Caribbean, but it's a left-hand drive British enclave somewhere that's, some would say thriving, but I would say for the most part it's surviving. How was your stream over on the official Cities Skylines channel? Let me know. I watched the first half of it. It was a lot of fun. I'm just working on this park at the moment outside the Civic Quarter. trying to create something a little bit more distinctive. We're working on a royal road that takes you up to the city hall, trying to make it look a little bit more decorative. We're still getting private vehicles using it, which means they're being very naughty. But it's coming together slowly. We've managed to cut off one road over here, change this into a cul-de-sac, and this is a cycle haven area outside the university. Oh, sometimes my camera goes crazy with autosave. But yes, it's coming together slowly. Hi Mario, welcome. Thank you. Greetings from Poland. Fantastic. Is it warm in Poland? I bet it's warm everywhere in Europe, I know. Very warm in here, I tell you. This is heating me up quite a lot with this game running. Now, what could we put on this corner here? So we've got what was a car park. We've got the university. Oh, this is the college, isn't it? And we've never actually upgraded it. I mean, I've considered replacing this building. It is a vanilla building, but I feel like there's so much history now with this little part of the city. I wouldn't want to replace it. But we do have this section here. We could throw in a park. I know that Riz has created a bunch of new parks over the past few months, and I've just not had any opportunity to use them. They're usually very large. Let's have a look. Yes, they're just very, very big. But that one's quite good. Maybe a sports facility, since this is a college ground, and maybe they would like to have some sports. The basketball center. Oh, it's a little bit big, isn't it? Yuval is asking why we're not pedestrianising it. So it is semi-pedestrianised. This is inspired by the Mall, if you've ever been to Buckingham Palace in London, which allows traffic through, but it's restricted to public transport. And you do find people using it. We did have a pedestrian road through here, but I'd like to imagine this is still used for royal parades, and royal vehicles need to have access through here. But yeah, this is the memorial park for the Great Fire of Sunny Isle that we had at some point a very long time ago. But if you've got any suggestions to put here, maybe we have a look at some of our signature buildings. I know I've added quite a few things here lately. Maybe a office, since this is meant to be a government area. But I don't want something that will clash with the university or the college building too much. So something low key, if we have anything, which I don't think we do. We just put a family mart down. Oh, have you seen the Hachiko Park? I really need to place this down at the train station. This is so cute. Look at this. Look at that little dog. So cute. This is such a nice little pocket park if you haven't picked this one up. In fact, let's see if we can place this down at the train station somewhere. First of all, I do want to check the try count. Super, super light. It's only 215. So I'm going to pick that up. Do we put it down by the high speed? That's the question. We don't have a lot of room here. We do have lots of other train stations though. We got the main train station, but again, I think this might get redeveloped soon. But perhaps we do have it on this corner here. Very cute. Gonna move it just a little bit, fill in that gap. And that fits in really nicely there. I'm not sure if that bush is a part of the asset. It is not. Hey, that works with very minimal effort. Very nice. Hey, Maestro, I don't think I've picked up Revo's new station yet. I'm not sure where I'd put it. I placed down the Dutch train station once in a test video just to see what it looked like. And Sunny Isle is very small. Let's have a look. Have I kept it? Oh, have you seen these Tokyo train stations? These are really nice. I don't know why I downloaded this. Oh, I'm killing my PC. I really just want to look at it though. Oh, spoilers with the airport. I need to find empty land. Okay, close the menu. Find some empty land. Down here is good. Set the camera position. Let's open it up. And turn off snapping. And just place it down. I'm just going to place it down. Going to kill my PC. And let's have a look at this beast. Wow, look at that. This is... Let's open this up. Tokyo Central Station by Styx. Yeah, if you have a look at... I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, have a look at this asset. It does have an upgrade station square, which you can add onto the front. And I think this is... Oh, I've placed it down by accident. Let's move it over. I want to honor this correctly. And put it in the right spot. Look at this. Now this actually I think could fit in Sunny Isle. I think the aesthetic is a mix of historical, colonial, and then you've got, you know, futuristic, high-tech in the background, which eventually Sunny Isle may succumb to large high-rises at some point in the future. But this is absolutely incredible. We've got access down here. I'm guessing that is ventilation or underground. Is there an oh, there's underground car parking. There you go. Let's see if we can get a closer look at the platforms itself. So we've got a raised platform right at the front here. That's really good. And then underneath, we got one platform, couple there. Very well detailed, fantastic stuff. I can't believe this is a free asset you can get on PDX mods. Absolutely incredible. And then, is this a public transport area at the back? Or is it just a pick up and drop off? Let's have a look at public transport. Oh no, I've placed it again. This is Anarchy playing up. Pray to the CS gods. Delete. Yes, the buses at the back. Very nice. Very good. Hey Jelly, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Hope all is well. Oh look, we've killed all the trees through here. I'm going to go into Tree Controller and regrow them, even though I'm never at this side of the map. I don't like to see that. There's loads of tiny little trees. Alright, my dogs might start barking soon. It's getting to that time where my wife might be home soon. Alexis Morris, do I have any plans on new or partly significant towns such as Clipstrand around the map? Yeah, I think you're looking at a potential area of development. Got a nice bit of flat land here, which I think could be built up into a city that rivals the main city on Sunny Isle City. Nice little area here. And yeah, Clipstrand is pretty small in comparison to that area. Although this does have a lot of people living here, since we're using a lot of high density. About 5,000 people. Probably similar to the University Hospital. A little bit shy, 3,500. Okay. I'm going to just remove these paths. Maybe we keep those round ones. And then we create like a square around the roundabout. I like the look of that. Gives us a framework to work with. But yes, I was playing around with some net lanes. And I might just do this manually because I can actually see what I'm working with here. These 10-meter ones. Let's have a look at this. A little bit too wide. They go over the path a little bit, which is a little bit annoying. Could use 2 of the 5-meter ones. I wish there was one that was 7 meters. Or maybe we keep the road red. But use a surface instead. Tiles. I do have a red surface. Different ones here actually. Can we preview them? I think I'm missing the pack that actually has the red bricks, which is fine, you know. I think I'm not missing too much. I quite like that one. Let's have a look at trying to use this one. And I'm going to leave the blue cycle lanes, I think. Yeah, that looks quite interesting. Looks like it'd be very slippery. Now, I wish the bricks were facing the other way. I think if they're facing this way, they won't support the weight of the traffic as well. Am I completely making it up? Why are you cycling on the road? You should be on the cycle lane. Did everybody know, or does everyone know, that Jelly recently released a map? It's called Abyssco. Go check it out. Poplar, thank you for shouting out. I haven't tried a new map in such a long time. Wouldn't know where to start. I'm so used to playing on mature cities. Yeah, that looks quite nice. I think another way to restrict traffic here Again, we could turn this into bus-only lanes. And again, to reduce the usage of bus lanes, I like to turn off the left and right turns. It does a pretty good job. Because technically vehicles can use, or any vehicle can use a bus lane if at the end of the bus lane it is turning left or right, but it will never use a bus lane, or it shouldn't, if it's going straight on, unless it's breaking the rules. And because we're using the vanilla version of the lane controls, it means that emergency vehicles will still be able to turn right here. Now we have to leave that one because obviously we need to allow vehicles to be able to come out. I'm not sure what would happen if we do that. Oh, you get some strange merging line there. But yes, I think that should restrict the amount of traffic coming through this area. Can you make a pedestrian road with bike lanes to replace the road? Yeah, I haven't tried that. What does that look like in practice? Has somebody made one before? Oh yeah, look. Cycle pedestrian road. Let's try it. Let's try it out and see what it looks like. It's got the trees in the middle, so you couldn't get military vehicles down the middle, but it's quite interesting. We could use it to replace Poplar Street though. I like that idea. Yeah, Tiger, I'm not sure. Do you mean creating a completely new road with pedestrian streets? So if we go into Road Builder and select this. Yeah, I don't think you can add cycle lanes to a tiled pedestrian road, can you? So I think cyclists might avoid using that. I quite like this tile though. And you can see there's not that many people using this. Like, our method of restricting access has worked. Now the roundabout, do we want to continue the tile in the roundabout, because it might look a little bit weird with the angles of the paving itself. That's what's nice about using net lanes over the top of roads, is you can angle them into different curves and shapes. Yeah, I think just bring that through here. That's not going to be too ugly. Going to add a couple of points onto this. And then we should be able to stretch that out just a little bit to cover those impurities. And it doesn't look as stark now. Bring in that nice pattern. I would love it if we could get some official government vehicles as a bus, and then we could set up bus lines, moving officials around the city, maybe going from one government building to the other. And then we actually, what would even be more interesting is if you could create a caravan of vehicles and then create basically create parades using the transport line through your city. That'd be quite interesting. And you could even adapt it for different uses, such as a festival parade or floats like what you get in New York with the big commercial fun floats, or if you're celebrating Pride Festival or something like that. Please use Move It to fix the bike lane, the pedestrian lines over the top. Yeah, and I can do one better actually. I can use node controller. How's that? Looks a little bit better. How big are these? I'm wondering. Yeah, no, I was trying to be cheeky and see if I could cover up the whole thing. Or maybe. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Yuval, what's wrong with this? Oh, is it this bit? Oh, I think my wife's home, so let me take the dogs upstairs and I'll be right back following a tram. And I'm going to mute myself. I'll be right back. Hi everyone. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to move my mouse off screen and made the camera go crazy. Thanks for sticking with us. The dogs are now upstairs enjoying themselves. This looks okay, doesn't it? Come on, guys. Everybody wants walkable cities, but sometimes you need to cater for those that are in the big house. And I think this will make them happy if they can drive their fancy car up to the top of this road and look all important and special. Now, I've just noticed this road is really wonky because I drew it from this side, so I'm going to remove it and do something. Start it from down here instead. So I'll draw it again, do it as quickly and cleanly as possible. Oh, but before I do that, I need to go into Node Controller and make sure that we don't have that bike path overlapping. And I don't think there's a lot I can do. If I bring that forward, it doesn't like it. If I click this, what does that do? Eesh, it's still not good, is it? Let's reset. And I think if we use Network Tool, remove this node here, will Node Controller, this is so difficult remembering the name of everything and all these different pop-ups, will that play a bit nicer? Not quite. I'll tell you what will fix it. If we go into our traffic tool, go into lane connectors. Brilliant. No cyclists through here, except for those that are going over that path there. There, I'm happy with that. Hey Sunny, what's going on? I just joined the stream. So we're back in the center of the city. I don't know if you remember, we had this memorial garden that we built for the Great Fire of Sunny Isle. Well, I've had a lot of feedback and experience in hot weather. It was just too open and too green, and given that Sunny Isle is a warm place, I don't think it would be very nice to visit. So we're trying to build a new park that is a little bit cozier. But for some reason, I've turned it into a car paradise. So I've already failed. Yeah, I like the roundabout. I think it looks good. Need some custom tram and bus assets. Yeah, I've got a couple in the build from Maestro. I really like the Mercedes buses. I've definitely got some Mercedes buses knocking around somewhere. This one here, I believe. And what I love about all of Maestro's assets is they come in left-hand drive versions. Oh, this one over here. So the round building Okra Glac looks great in your game, especially from a driver's perspective. Yeah, imagine it does as you come down here. Very nice. Yeah, I really like that asset. I always end up using it in all my different builds and all the different cities I use or build. I'll tell you what, Joe, is it Joe that created these assets? I'm in love with all this industrial stuff. This rail bridge kit, absolutely fantastic. And it really made what was a little bit of a scar on the landscape with this metro cutting through what is quite a scenic river area into something that looks a bit more of a iconic destination. You can imagine people putting these bridges on postcards or something like that. It's quite nice. We got Palms Times Square. I do need to come through here and fix this up, modernize it. Definitely don't need all this road access. Pedestrianize it for sure. But talking about pedestrianization, let's remove some more pedestrian areas and fix up this road. Yes, Maestro is the goat. I agree. Starq, I know that's you. I know your username. Now these little red bits here, I think we could use some decals. Do they cover these up? It does cover the pedestrian walkway. Do we have anything that could go in between? I guess what we could do, it's going to cause issues in the future, I know, but if we add a little node there, a little node there, and then we remove... Oh, so we need to remove it from one side. Remove the bus lane, and I think technically it should still be under here. It's hard to tell, but I think it's under there, and that makes that fountain look a lot nicer. Now I think it is probably worth bringing Poplar Street through, since this is a cycle corridor. The only issue is it doesn't really go anywhere. Emerson Lane is just a small side street in this high school area. But for symmetry and to make things look a little bit prettier, let's do it. He's going to break things. Very sad. I think I'm going to leave it. We will add some cycle connections though. We'll just use a cycle path instead. And that should not be as destructive. Interesting it's not connect. Oh, okay, yes, we actually have to touch the road itself. There's some weird stuff there. Don't like that. Really don't like that at all. Can we use move it? Oh, no, I shouldn't use manipulation mode in the alpha version. I think it's a little bit sketchy. What about node controller? Can we use that on here? Ooh, almost does something. You pass the Okruglak on the tram every morning on your way to work. It's your favorite building in Poznan. Wow. Yeah, it's an iconic building. Fantastic. It's amazing that they've included it into the game. Expertim, I think you're right. I think we'll have to just extend that road through. It's going to look a little bit cleaner. But I've got a plan. Let's pick this and let's start it over here. Let's turn snapping on, get it right in the middle. And then it's not going to break the position of that roundabout. And then I think I'm going to use the complex curve. So that's about 75 meters. We could just... Yes, I think I'm just going to go straight. If you look at these places from above, they're never perfect. But to me, that looks interesting. Now, the question is, why do we have a roundabout at the end of this road? Because originally it was because it's a cul-de-sac. Oh, but technically it still is a cul-de-sac because this road is only accessible by bikes, but this is still accessible by cars. Okay, so that's fine. It makes sense. Now, I think that could be a little bit smaller, though, in my opinion, because I feel like it's competing with this roundabout here. So let's use the smallest roundabout with a tree, or maybe with the bush. Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense to do something a little bit smaller. And then we can just grab the end of this pavement surface area and bring that through. And hopefully those invisible paths are still connected. They have. Perfect. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Yes, I can give you a sneak peek of the metro at the airport if you like. If I just follow the metro line really, really closely. Which direction are you going? Oh no, I've not set up the metro line yet. But yes, I'll give you a little bit of a teaser. I won't give you the full picture. So this is the metro depot. And then this is a intersection outside the metro depot. And I've got a tram connection going up to the airport. We have a highway connection there, which goes off into the distance. That connects up to the highway that we built a long time ago. That is outside our rail industrial center. I forgot how good this area looks. I really like industrial builds, but they take a lot of time to work on. All right. Let's stay zoomed in. Got some pillars in the way. Lots of road infrastructure that I need to fix up here. And then look at this. Look at this British roundabout. Absolutely fantastic. And I've been thinking, and we can do that here actually. If you've ever been to Heathrow, they've got a roundabout that has a miniature version of an aeroplane on it. But I think all our aeroplane props are too big. Oh dear. We're going to have to commission Nyoko to create a miniature version of an aeroplane because these are all too big. These roads are just the vanilla highway roads. But I create some custom roads further up here. So these are a custom road in Road Builder. I call it a slow 2-lane one-way highway. So 3 meters instead of 4 meters. And it removes the white lines. And then I think it's got the standard shoulder. And then I reduce the speed down to 50. Oh, why do the roads look so black? I don't know. That's just the vanilla. I don't have any custom textures. The road textures did get an update about a year ago, I think. The airport build is not complete. No, it's very much a work in progress, and I'm giving a sneak peek at all the infrastructure that I'm working on. You can see there's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of stuff still to fix. And I'm trying to future-proof it by including stuff like the tram, even though we don't have a very good tram connection at this side of the city that can connect to it just yet. And then this is a sneak peek at the departure area. The departure section and then the arrival section underneath here. All very much a work in progress. And then we've got the metro station here. And none of it's hooked up yet, so we don't have anyone coming down. I don't have any aeroplanes set up, any airlines or lines set up just yet. So all a work in progress. If you're talking about my visual settings compared to the vanilla ones, they're not too different to the vanilla. I'd say the main mod that makes a big difference is sunglasses. And sunglasses, if you pair that with Lumina, you can get some really good looking visual settings. I've got a Patreon that is free, which has all my graphic settings, visual settings. Check it out. I think this is looking okay. I'm happy with this. And I said, I want to keep this shape. Kind of, you know, give the area a little bit of history. Especially if we're going for... We could do a before and after shot. I could load an older version of the game, record some cinematic footage, and then come back into this one. And then do a slow fade over the top. The only issue is I don't want this path to come up here and create a new crossing. Because if we add a crossing there, I won't be able to remove this crossing at the end because these two crossings will be connected. It's one of the annoying features with the crosswalk upgrade button. For some reason it removes more than what you actually want. So I might be tempted to move that path up to align with that crosswalk there. Question is move it going to play nice? And what's nice about having the path line up with the pedestrian path here is it just creates a more seamless, more effortless route for pedestrians to come through. There's nothing worse than being a pedestrian and having to take the long way round. Still getting some funny bits here. Lesson is, don't connect it, otherwise you get to see in the underworld. There we go, we can't win them all. Some of your battles are just going to be lost, which is fair. Now, I don't use node controller on pedestrian paths very much, but I'm curious if it works. Kinda. We use the shift button and align this with this one. Doesn't really work how I'd like. But playing with pedestrian paths is a lot easier than what it was like in CS1, I'll tell you that. I like that. Bye, Maestro. Have a good day. Thanks for joining. I will be ending the stream soon, but I have set up the streaming forwarding settings, and you should be able to join a new streamer once I finish this one. But don't go anywhere yet, because I'm still building. If there's anything anyone wants to have a look at, let me know. I'm probably going to continue building this pack on another stream, since I can't go ahead and make a video about it now, can I? Since we've already started it. So if you want to keep informed about new streams, hit the bell on the channel. I can't believe I've actually... That's probably the first time I've ever said that. But it is more than likely the most likely way that you're going to find out if there is a stream. Cabbage, thank you so much for the kind words. It's so lovely. And much love to Melbourne as well. I hope that the winter isn't too cold over there. We're all dreaming of a little bit of cold here in Europe. Thank you for the support. We're not getting that many private vehicles through here, and I think the only ones that are coming in are because of this government building. I have been looking at changing this government building. I've downloaded quite a few. Go into the police tab. Yeah, Booty, I've got to have my dinner. I've got some really nice ones. I really like this San Diego one. Really good, but it's a little bit too wide for the area. So I might save that for another part of the city. The Wisconsin one is humongous, but if this came on a smaller footprint, I would use it in a heartbeat. I think this is such a beautiful asset, and you can see the main mesh of the building could fit there, but overall it's a little bit too big. Yeah, I can't remember which one is the one I like. I think it had a ton of upgrades. Maybe, no, it wasn't that one. Santa Barbara. Yes, this is it. So this would actually fit in that footprint exactly and replace the existing one. So I'm very tempted to use this instead. And it even has those terracotta orange roofs. You could imagine would exist in Sunny Isle, and it comes with a bunch of upgrades as well, so you can make the building more square shape. I'll have to put out a post or a poll on the channel to see if people would be up for doing something like that. I think that might add a little bit of a special feature in this area. This vanilla asset is nice, but I just don't like the fact that it's completely front loaded with all this car parking. I think it just kind of ruins it. Anyway, I think this pack's coming along nicely. Let's just bring out those paths and connect this up, and at least people have a loop to go around. Yeah, that gives us a rough, a rough skeleton of the main circular path through here. It's always nice to have circular paths in parks. This is where people can do some jogging, walk the dog. We might even use the slightly wider path through here, and we can even add some of crypto gamers net lanes to make it a little bit more decorative, so it isn't this sad grey dull colour. I think that might be quite nice. Alex, are there any bell towers in the city? It feels like if a signature clock tower would be amazing somewhere which is pedestrianised. No, we don't have many clock towers or clock tower assets in the game, I don't think. We don't have any churches in Sunny Isle, which I think is a crying shame. But we don't... Oh, no, we do have a church. We've got one down in Marlow Cove. This beautiful one. I call it the Brum Church in the video. It's actually the Church of Sao Francisco de something. There you go. De Assis by D Brum. Absolutely beautiful asset down in our little coastal fishing town here. Oh yeah, we got the Notre Dame as well. Of course. Of course we've got Notre Dame. That was a crazy build, this one. I remember thinking, how am I going to use the French pack? And I was very fortunate that I visited Paris not long after the French asset pack was released. And you can clearly see I was inspired by Montmartre, if you've ever been to Montmartre. And then you got the Sacré-Cœur, which is a church that sits at the top of Montmartre. Absolutely fascinating area. It's Paris's only hill, and it's where all the bohemian artists and naughty people used to hang out when the city was quite young. And the streets don't follow typical Parisian grids or anything like that. It's very much a mess, but a fascinating place to visit. Okay, so I think I will have to wrap up the stream now. Stay on the line. I'll push you over to our next streamer, which is Dava. And if it works, you'll join his stream and enjoy him building a heavily modded city, North American, probably going to be using a ton of rail assets and loads of rail and trains everywhere. Absolutely amazing creator. If it doesn't work, then please find his channel on YouTube and join him, because he has an incredible eye for detail and he's such an entertaining person. So thank you so much for joining me. I know it was a short one, but I'm not usually a streamer, and I think this was a pretty good experience. I didn't do too many mistakes. I managed to keep up with most of your messages, and I appreciate you all for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.